This is Nathan. It's the 16th of September, November 2025. I know I haven't done a video in weeks now since Halloween, but I did a short video the other day, and right now I'm going to review it's only a few of them now, a few of my wrestling VHS tapes, as I promised a long time ago. So let's get started, and this is only a few of my wrestling VHS tapes. I have loads of VHS tapes wrestling. The first one I'm going to review is Jesse the Body Ventura. The Mouth, the Myth, the Legend. Yeah, this documentary was released in 1998, and on this video you hear from two of his greatest friends, God rest their souls, Classy Freddie Blassie and the late great Gorilla Monsoon, who are two WWF Hall of Famers who were in the Hall of Fame the same year. Yeah, this is when Jesse Ventura, I think, was making a comeback to the WWF, and yeah, they released this documentary about him. Just around the time he was governor of Minnesota, and another video I have here is WWF Invasion 1992. This video I really like, and you know, I got it on Amazon a few years ago. It's a Coliseum video. Yeah, in this video, Sean Mooney and Lord Alfred Hayes do a Star Trek parody. Yeah, I've reviewed a few up before, and it says you've been warned. The matches on this tape are Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Macho Man Randy Savage pair up against the tag team of Jake the Snake Roberts and The Undertaker. Two fan favourite matches, Hulk Hogan versus Typhoon, who used to be his best friend at the time, Tugboat, and the Beverly Brothers taped at the special request of WWF fans take on the Legion of Doom for the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team titles. Video exclusive, Macho Man Randy Savage guest referee as the Virgil takes on the villainous Ted DiBiase. Also, the Big Boss Man battles it out with Hercules. Exclusive profile, Ric Flair. Exciting interviews, action-packed matches, and are featured as Ric Flair takes on. In this video, Ric Flair has two matches, one for the Intercontinental title against Bret Hart, and two against Shawn Michaels, who around this time, I think Shawn Michaels was a heel at the time of this video release, but on the tape he's a babyface, he's one of the rockers, and that's the first time he faced Ric Flair, and yeah, this is a pretty good video. And another one I'm going to review, which I also got off eBay, what I got off eBay a few years ago, WWF WrestleFest 1993. Now this one, if you're subscribed to the WWF Vault or the WWE Vault as it is called now, this is on it, WrestleFest 93, and I really like this video. In this video, me and Gene Oakland and Bobby the Brain Heenan get into a bit of car trouble, and yeah, I'm just going to read the matches for you now. Exclusive WWF Tag Team titles, Money Inc., Ted DiBiase and IRS versus the Nasty Boys, Knobs and Sags. Intercontinental Belt Defense, Bret Hart versus Kamala. Intercontinental Belt Defense, Shawn Michaels versus Virgil. And a little history about this tape. I actually rented this video from Dirks one time when I was a kid in the year 2000. I love the old school WWF tapes, Coliseum video especially. And another match exclusive, The Undertaker versus the Berserker. Plus Crush versus Papa Shango, Big Bossman versus Rick Dermodel Martel, Earthquake versus the Repo Men, which was also on the Smack 'em Whack 'em video that was going to review for 1 minute, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus IRS, High Energy, Owen Hart and Coco Beware team with El Matador Tito Santana to take on the Nasty Boys and Repo Men. Around this, at this tape request, the Nasty Boys were still heels, but around this year, 1993, they left to go to WCW as heels, and before they left, they were babyfaces. And Nasty Boys, Macho Man Randy Savage takes on Terry Taylor, who was once the Red Rooster in the WWF, if you remember. Razor Ramon takes on El Matador Tito Santana, and the final match on this video, loser leaves town from Monday Night Raw on January 25th, 1993. The late great Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig versus Ric Flair. Yeah, the loser leaves town. As you know, Ric Flair loses the match. Well, if you've seen it, he loses the match and goes back to WCW. And yeah, 1993, people say WWF, that was a bad year. Like, you know, I was only 1 year old at that time, but I remember watching WWF and it was exciting every week. You know, it just went through a bit of a change in 1993. They had a new show, Monday Night Raw, and exclusive to do it yourself. Yeah, car maintenance with Bobby the Brain Heenan. Would you really trust your car to this man? And on the back there, yeah, you see Papa Shango versus Crush. And another video I'm going to review for you is one of the greatest events, I think, of 1993, WrestleMania 9. This video I got in 2002. It was on my brother's communion, and this is pretty good. On the cover there is Bret the Hitman Hart and the Megamaniacs and Yokozuna, and this is the first outdoor WWF pay-per-view for the company. Double main event: Bret the Hitman Hart defends the title against Yokozuna. Tag team titles: IRS and $1 Million Men Ted DiBiase defend against the Megamaniacs, Hulk Hogan and Bruce the Barber Beefcake. Intercontinental Champion Shawn Michaels defends against Tatanka. The Undertaker takes on Giant Gonzalez. Mr. Perfect versus the Narcissist Lex Luger. The Steiner Brothers versus the Head Shrinkers, Fatu and Samu. Crush versus Doink. Bob Backlund in his first WrestleMania against Razor Ramon, who's also in his first WrestleMania. And as you know, a year later he faced Shawn Michaels in the ladder match. And special video exclusive, the countdown to WrestleMania plus behind the scenes footage you can't see anywhere else. Well, there's not really behind the scenes footage on this video, but you can see it on the True Story of WrestleMania DVD. Oh, yeah, and this, once again, this event is pretty cool. And it's the first WWF appearance of Jim Ross, JR, who, this is a year before he had Bell's palsy. And he commentates with Macho Man Randy Savage, God rest his soul, and the late great Bobby the Brain Heenan, God rest his soul as well. And at this pay-per-view, you see Mean Gene Okerlund dressed up, and Howard Finkel, who, God rest their souls as well. Howard Finkel becomes Finkus Maximus. And once again, this is pretty cool. And what was different about this event as well, not that it matters now, but as you know, WWF had the classic blue ring, but at this event they have a black pad and black ropes, black, yellow and black, and black ring posts, and it's dressed up like it's different. The WWF was going through kind of a change around this time. All the guys were leaving, and Vince McMahon had to hang in there, as you know. He had Bret Hart as the champion, which, yeah, Bret Hart deserved to be the face of the company. He was my favourite wrestler back then. And another video I'm going to review for is WrestleMania 13. I got this as well in 2002. It's a pretty good event. This is leading up to the Attitude Era, and this is the last WrestleMania for Bret the Hitman Hart. Championship match: Psycho Sid versus The Undertaker. Grudge match: Bret the Hitman Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, which is a submission match, and Ken Shamrock is referee. This is where Bret has the massive heel turn, and the fans turn on him, and before Stone Cold Steve Austin becomes a babyface, but Stone Cold didn't like the fans cheering for him. It's just the way he was around this time. He's the toughest SOB, as you know. But yeah, and Chicago Street Fight: Ahmed Johnson and friends, who were Hawk and Animal, the Legion of Doom versus the Nation Domination, Crush, Savio Vega, and Farouk. Tag team elimination tag match: Furnace and LaFon versus the Headbangers in their first WrestleMania, versus the Godwins in their second WrestleMania, versus the New Blackjacks, who are Barry Windham and Bradshaw. And tag team title match: Owen Hart and the British Bulldog versus Vader and Mankind with Paul Bearer. Goldust versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Intercontinental title match: Rocky Maivia in his first WrestleMania before he becomes The Rock versus the Sultan, who is Rikishi. WCW Halloween Havoc 1991. This belonged to my late cousin Clement, God rest his soul, and his mother gave this to me in 2001, and I'm sure he would have wanted me to have this. Like, God rest him. At this event, WCW around this time wasn't as good as WWF, but it was alright. The face of the company around this time was Sting, who was not the heavyweight champion yet. He was the United States champion. The main event of this pay-per-view heavyweight championship match: Lex Luger versus Ron Simmons, 2 out of 3 falls. In Ron Simmons' corner is the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, if you will, and in Lex Luger's corner is his manager and protege, I think that's what they're called, proteges, Harley Race. And yeah, this is a pretty good pay-per-view. Other matches on this pay-per-view, which I'll name: Chamber of Horrors, Sting and the Steiner Brothers and Elegante versus Big Van Vader, Cactus Jack, Abdullah the Butcher, and who was the fourth man? The Diamond Stud, Scott Hall, who was managed by the Diamond Dallas Page at the time. And the inside is pretty cool as well. You know, it shows all WCW's videos at the time. And this is when they were dropping away from the NWA tradition. They finally went to WCW. Ric Flair went to the WWF with the NWA belt, so yeah, that's why they had to change. And another pay-per-view I have is second annual Survivor Series, 1988. Macho Man Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan lead Hercules, Coco Beware, and Hillbilly Jim versus Big Boss Man and Akeem, with Ted DiBiase, $1 Million Men, King Haku, and the Red Rooster. Brutus the Barber Beefcake and the Ultimate Warrior lead the Blue Blazer, Jumpin' Jim Brunzell and Sam Houston versus Honky Tonk Man and Outlaw Ron Bass, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Dangerous Danny Davis, and Bad News Brown. Jake the Zinc Robertson and Hacksaw Jim Duggan lead Tito Santana, B. Brian Blair, and Kent Patera, who this will be Kent Patera's last appearance, versus Andre the Giant and Dino Bravo lead Ravi Shankar, Mr. Perfect, Harley Race, this is Harley Race's last WWF. I think it was the Royal Rumble. Yeah, but this is after he dropped the King gimmick, and a match which I think is pretty awesome. The captains Powers of Pain, Warlord and Barbarian in their first Survivor Series were team with the Hart Foundation, the British Bulldogs in their last appearance, versus the Rockers and the Young Stallions in their last appearance also. The Young Stallions, not the Rockers. This is the Rockers' first pay-per-view for the WWF. And versus captains Demolition lead Fabulous Rougeaus, the Bolsheviks, the Brainbusters, and the Conquistadors. A twist happens in this match. Mr. Fuji turns on Demolition, and he joins the Powers of Pain. And then after the pay-per-view, as you know, Demolition become the baby faces, and the Powers of Pain become the heels, which was pretty lousy. I think the Powers of Pain, they were a good tag team. Like, if you've seen any of their early matches in the WWF, they were baby faces when they first came in, but I don't know, it's turned them heel. That was, I don't know, and 2 years later, as you know, Demolition turned heel again and they joined Mr. Fuji. And another review and another video that I promised I also got off Amazon a few years ago, Smack 'em Whack 'em. This video I really like, man. I also rented this from Dirks one time when I was a kid as well. Ladder match for the Intercontinental title, Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels. The Undertaker takes on Razor Ramon. Crush battles it out with the Berserker. Repo Man clashes. Sorry about that a minute, the battery went off, you see. The battery's low, I have to hurry up with these videos. WCW Starrcade 1999, Goldberg versus Bret Hart for the world title. Anarchy Rules 1999, ECW. Rob Van Dam takes on Balls Mahoney in the main event. WWF Armageddon 99 from the Attitude Era, Triple H versus Vince. SummerSlam 99, Jesse Ventura special referee, Austin Mankind and Triple H. And ECW Living Dangerously 2000, the main event, the Super Crazy versus Rhino for the television title in the final tournament. So that's all I'm going to say for you now, and I have to charge this camera now, and yeah, I'll see you in my next video, so see you to then.